This episode is powered by Celsius. Now, whether you're in the gym or you're on the run or, hey, you're just doing a podcast, grab yourself a can of Celsius and live fit. So this is a shameless pitch for Strong New York, September 27th, right at the Glass House on 48th and 12th Avenue. We are throwing the biggest fitness and wellness event this city has ever seen. Every year it gets bigger and bigger. This year we'll have 5,000 people, 80 plus brands, and you will be there. So make sure you get your tickets at strongnewyork.com. It's that simple. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Strong New York podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Santucci. And as always, thank you guys for joining. Do not forget, it's very important, and I'll stress this many, many times from now till September because we have Strong New York coming up. New York City's one and only Fitness and Wellness Expo. It is a chance for you guys to come out. If you talk about community, if you're one of these people, whether you're a brand, a business, a gym, a personality, if you talk about community, well, this is the biggest fitness event for New York City. So come out, come join us. It's going to be one hell of a day. You don't want to miss it. We have classes all day long, stuff you could jump into, competitions. We have some of the best speakers from the, doctors, nutritionists, trainers from all over the globe coming to talk to you guys. We also have the classes going on. We have expo floor with over 80 brands and 5,000 plus people. So you don't want to miss this. If you're into running, yoga, jujitsu, dancing, if you just like walking around, this is the event for you right in New York City. If you like Comic-Con, if you like Fanatics Fest, if you like the Food and Wine Festival, well, this is that for fitness. So come join us at Strong New York this year on September 27th at the Glass House on 48th and 12th Avenue. I can't make it more convenient. I can't make it any cheaper. Get your tickets today because they're on sale. Now, with no further ado, I got my man Tom here. Who connected us again?
Nathan Highland.
Nathan. So a gentleman who works in the fitness space. He's all over the place. I mean, he does a little bit of everything.
He's over in France right now, doing American Gladiator shooting.
Is he one
Him
of
and his
the
brother.
actual?
He's a contestant.
He's a contestant. So a buddy of mine is one of the gladiators.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he's like a big wannabe WWE guy. He's like a wrestler, but he's one of the gladiators. So that's pretty cool.
Well, Nathan has a twin brother.
Yeah, I know.
They look alike. I'm like, bro.
What are the chances?
Yeah, I know, right? If nothing else, they'll want two good-looking guys fighting the gladiators.
Of course.
Why not?
Well, what they never had in gladiators that was so successful in WWE is tag team action, right?
I don't watch TV, so I don't know. But
you were a little bit older than me. I remember watching American Gladiators and being obsessed.
2.5 decades, bro, at least.
Yeah, but you look great. And this is what we're here to talk about. Guys,
keep talking.
I want Tom to expose all his secrets because what are you, 63? 62?
I'm older than that, bro.
65.
Older.
67.
I'll never tell.
So somewhere between 65 and 70.
I'm going into my 7th decade. I'm not there yet. I'm going into it. Yeah.
You look incredible. Let me tell you how many fucking people, whether they're clients of mine, friends, family, who don't hold a candle to you. And let's dig into this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because my mom, who is a little bit old, not much, she's maybe 4 or 5 years older than you, and she's been saying that she's old for 20 fucking years. 20 years. I'm old.
That's problem number one.
Exactly. And this is what I want to start to impact, and this is what I want you guys to understand, is you're only as old as you tell yourself you are.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being 20 years old. I was working down at Port Newark, and the guys who were 40 years old looked like absolute dog shit. Fat, bald, degenerates.
Sure.
They looked like shit. And I feared turning 40 so much. And I said, I don't even want to make it to 40 if that's what 40 looks like.
Yeah.
And that was the only representation. It was probably worse for even you. Like what you thought?
It could have been because, I grew up Irish, Catholic, Italian and eating, pasta and all that. But the meals were prepared at home and we sat down to a dinner at 5 o'clock. If you weren't there at 5 with the hat off, shoes on, you didn't eat kind of thing, but portions were different. We went outside to play. It was a different society then, back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. And actually, growing up sort of Irish Catholic and Italian, I went to a Catholic schools. And that's where the beatdown started, society.
You got beat up a lot.
I got bullied quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
120 pounds in high school.
Okay. Yeah, that's victim weight right there.
And, I was into art and drawing. And
so
I was. Oh, were you really?
I was an art major in college.
Really?
That's something most people don't know about me.
See, but that's where you probably have this creative side to you.
That's why I love what I do.
Yeah.
Because it allows me to be creative.
Yeah.
Like that's why I do the shirts and I do the event and I do the gyms, because now I get to combine these two things that I love, the gym and art, into one.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, for me, that was, I thought, where I was headed, but the beat down, being bullied and beat up, your head bashed into the lockers at school. And I was like, my father was like telling my older brother, you get him lifting weights, boxing. I don't give a fuck. You do something. And so what I did was I joined the wrestling team.
There we go.
I did, because I needed to move, I needed to make some moves. And I started lifting weights. And back then, Frank Zane, Arnold Schwarzenegger, those lifters back then, it's like, fuck, look at these fucking guys. They're monsters, But so I combined working out and wrestling. And the guys that were beating me up, I had to challenge them. And it worked. The problem was, I went from being bullied, I became a bully. I'm like, oh, this is great.
Sounds like a guy I know.
But that's what happened.
Yeah.
But then, drinking, drugs, jail, a lot of things. Oh,
so you went down a road I never went. No, so I was picked on to a point where like I felt bad for other people getting picked on. And I wanted to, everybody always called me like Howard Stern because I always had this band of misfits around me. I had all the misfits.
Like he was a misfit.
All the artsy people and all the, kind of weirdos and shit I kind of hung out with in high school and in college. Where I didn't fit in college was that I was going to the art building. I went to Montclair State, New Jersey, and the art building, there was all these fucking blue hair. Anybody you see protesting now, they probably were in the art building at my school. And they all made me feel like I didn't belong then, because I would because I wrestled in college. So I would go in like sweatpants and a t-shirt or a hoodie. Like I never did the theatrics of the art world. Like I never pierced my fucking nipples and got a bunch of tattoos and like just that extreme, wearing fucking leather and shit all the time. It's just like, it's too much. The beauty of being a guy, I think, is the fact that it's always low maintenance. I wear the same shit now that I've always worn. It was always like shorts, sneakers, t-shirts.
It's less stress.
Simple. Less stress.
Less stress.
I like cool. I love art. I love tattoos. I love the art form. I love graffiti. I love all that stuff. To put it on my body permanently, I don't want to do. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of people who just take it to another level as a form of expression. They have to wear it and they show it. And it's like,
well, yeah, my feeling about that is that they're looking for attention.
Of course.
Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm different, but actually you're not, and
all these fucking idiots who have this, they want to pretend like they're goth, dressed in black, wear the fucking face mask still like there's COVID. I actually did anything. Those are the same people that were doing it in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, right? That whole goth look, all these people who are so blown away with Kanye being anti-Semitic and using the swastika and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There have been metal bands that have been doing that since forever.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, I don't really think a lot of these people, I mean, it's crazy to think here's, a black guy who's doing this. It's more for shock value. Motley Crue was doing it. Guns N' Roses did it. Ozzy did it.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath. All these guys were always rocking that shit. And I think it's more for like, hey, we're so different. We're so on the outside. I just 3 weeks ago, I went with a buddy, went to go see Pantera and Metallica.
Did you really?
Yeah. And everybody in the audience is like a fucking biker, white trash, fucking, all this shit. And I feel like it's more for shock value. I couldn't imagine, maybe I'm just so far removed from that thought process that like anybody could really think like that. Like living in New York City, you choose to live in a melting pot of the world.
Mm-hmm.
If you truly believe, you should move out to fucking Pennsylvania or Ohio where like that's more wildly accepted. Here it's like, I love New York. I love New York for all the same reasons I hate New York. I love the people, but I hate all the
That's being honest.
Yeah.
That's being honest.
I love all the people, but I hate all the people. I love that it's so culturally diverse, but like there are so many people who are just fucking stupid. And New York
Well, that's in general terms, but looking at you, with your creativity, and you probably love getting up on stage and speaking like, your truth,
Yeah.
right? And, most people, like you're cutting your own path.
Mm-hmm.
I see that. You got a podcast, a couple of gyms. I think you want to probably expand, but you're into, creating the logo, creating the hats, doing all that,
Mm-hmm.
And it takes courage. It takes a lot of balls to just do your own thing and not give a fuck what
Mm-hmm.
anybody else thinks. Because if you start listening to other people, then you just become sheep. And you get slaughtered.
Well, and that's the thing. So a buddy of mine was trying to help me get a couple more brands for the event. And he's like, yeah, you know what? One of the guys said that your brand is a little too aggressive. I was like, I think he's a little too fucking soft. I go, what do you mean my brand's too aggressive? I go, he has his product at Equinox. I go, Equinox gets a ton of shit for having these risque pictures and shit. Like a couple of years ago, they had like this woman breastfeeding as like their huge billboard ad here in New York City. And I go, you're worried about my brand that I have a fucking panther on the shirt? I go, that's too aggressive for you? I go, but a woman breastfeeding in front of people, it's like, listen, I think it's just, life is beautiful. It's great. I don't care. I don't want my wife with her tit out, on a billboard somewhere.
Yeah, but I
think that's more extreme than a fucking cartoon panther.
But you have the courage to say, you know what, go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that. What's aggressive?
Yeah.
What's aggressive?
Yeah. Yeah. What is aggressive? Like,
because you don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's aggressive.
Yeah. So Tom, give us a little bit of background, like what you've done after you had this whole stint, like you got locked up, you got in trouble.
Chain gang. You ever been in a chain gang?
No.
Chain gang.
Thank God.
You ever see the
How long? How long were you away for?
The most was just 3 months. 3 months, but
I don't want to do 3 minutes.
But part of it was in the Navy. The Navy, they asked me to leave. I was a troublemaker, and then we were dealing. This was back in the 70s, though. Remember, so. I was on an aircraft carrier, and I was 18. My father kicked me out of the house, and so I was like, I tried college for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
where'd you grow up again?
Springfield, Mass.
Okay, that's right.
Western Mass. So tried college for 2 weeks, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? I'm here because I want to please my parents. I didn't really have a good job. I had a job, but. So I went down to see a recruiter, joined the Navy. I want some adventure. I want, but the fighting and the drinking and the drugging, continued in the Navy. Mm-hmm. We would bring on pounds of pot onto the ship. We'd go across to Europe and to the Mediterranean and trade it for hash. So,
what do you like better, hash or? What was your drug of choice?
It was just smoking weed, really, making joints about that big and just smoking, just on the flight deck. I was on the flight deck smoking, getting high, watching them launch F-4 Phantoms.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, one of the coolest things I've seen in the last 2 years. Did you see all the footage of right before they bombed Iran recently? That bomber, the stealth bomber.
Oh, the B-2 bomber.
Dude. And it had the two bombers on either side and then the fighter jets on either.
Yeah, probably, I think maybe Raptors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Badass, man.
That's fucking sick.
That's badass.
I'll tell you what, since I was a kid, since I first saw Top Gun, I was obsessed with that.
Me too.
Like the whole
Me too.
fighter
You know,
jet.
that gives me like goosebumps, you know.
Well,
but
you got to see it firsthand.
firsthand, you know, and these kids, you think about it. These guys are, I call them young kids because they're 23, 24, 25.
Yeah.
Flying F-15s, B-2 bombers, Raptors, you know, fifth generation fighters. And
Are most of those guys coming out of like the Naval Academy?
the Naval Academy.
Yeah.
You got to get
can't
appointed.
Yeah.
You got to get
You're not
appointed.
you're not giving a fucking $4 million plane to an idiot.
Well, let me tell you, bro. Let me tell you. You know, because I was on the ship for a few years at Carrier, and I would hop into an F-4 Phantom. They don't have Phantoms anymore, but I'd see seeds, pot seeds in the seat.
Yeah.
You know, so these guys are like, and they're young guys. They're probably up there taking a hit.
Yeah. Well, some of the smartest guys I know are, you know, they like their cocaine, they like their drugs.
Whatever. You know, so they're just like
They're,
you and me. You know,
everybody needs a release. Like even now,
yeah, I think so.
For me, I've never, ever in my life, I was never a big drinker. I think the first time I smoked pot or like did any type of like, at the time, illegal substance, I was probably 33, 34. I was always pretty straight edge. My drug of choice was always women. But as I've gotten older, you know, I've found comfort in smoking a cigar and microdosing, like mushrooms and shit. Have you tried any of that?
I haven't. You know, the only mushrooms I'm doing these days is lion's mane, you know, and
I
for
had it
food.
this morning.
Did you really?
I do the Laird Hamilton mushroom coffee.
Yeah.
And I also do the everyday dose mushroom coffee. So the lion's mane and all ashwagandha.
Right.
All that. Yeah. Like I love those formulas. I feel great on that stuff.
Yeah, there's a company out there called Mudwater.
Yeah. I like them.
Yeah, I get their stuff, you know. And so that's, you know, nutraceuticals are, I don't believe in supplements. I don't do supplements, but I do, you know, honey, turmeric, lion's mane, those kind of natural things that are coming from the earth. You know,
yeah.
Right now, I'm still flying a jet and a helicopter for Sean, you know, and he just got a new jet. Huh?
You can't graze over that. You gotta.
Well, we can talk about that.
This is why we're here.
Yeah,
that's why we're here. I mean, you're not just a handsome young man, all right?
I am. But, yeah, I think I have a great story, and in my third book, that's coming out when I go to Everest, is From Zero to Hero, Made in America, and I've traveled around the world, and I'm always grateful to come back here. We have it so fucking good here, we don't realize it.
Don't tell other people. They won't believe it. Isn't it crazy? Like, I was just in London, and I loved it. It's great. As soon as we were done, I was working over there. I go, get me the fuck home. Because you don't even realize how good we have it here.
Oh, yeah.
There are so many people. It's always these like old fucking rich white ladies who are bitching about how bad they have it. And I go, you have it better than everybody else. On the backs of old white men, you guys have been able to fucking protest and do the shit you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Shut the fuck up and enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're so spoiled. But
that's what it is. And that's what I say the problem is because we have it so good that we're creating our own problems.
Yeah.
Right? Because because if you had a real problem, like if you were in fucking East Africa or something and a lion was chasing you, had no goddamn water or food, then you'd have a real problem. Then you wouldn't wake up every day and be like, what am I going to protest about? You'd be like, I better get out of here before that fucking animal comes and eats me.
You're 100% correct. You know, I like to say that, you know, cancer is a mountain. Obesity is a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
School is a mountain. Mm-hmm. Educating yourself is a mountain. But these fucking people here, the only mountain they want to climb is the couch,
Yeah,
and they need to get off the fucking couch.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on one now. But I worked out this
But we
morning.
get what you're saying. Yeah.
You
I
know?
got a little workout in today. I got up this morning. I said this a couple times. I said it on a podcast a couple weeks ago. If you're not up by 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock every day,
Yeah.
you're wasting your fucking day, or you don't really have anything going on.
Yeah.
If you're hungry, you better get your ass out of bed and start fucking doing something. I don't give a shit what it is.
Yeah.
Start sewing, shovel shit, do whatever it is.
Anything. Yeah.
Do something to make your life a little bit better, because I think this depression and loneliness and all these fucking problems, if one of my friends called me up on a Saturday or Sunday and goes, "Hey, you want to go protest?" I'd be like, "You need to go get a fucking job or have some sort
Thank you. Yeah.
some sort of other hobby or something that you're working towards, because this is a waste of your fucking time." And I know there's going to be people out there who are like, "Oh, well, protesting." I get it. But we're not, look at all the shit we've been protesting for the past couple of years and what has moved the needle. Right?
We elected Trump. That's what is moving the needle.
Yeah.
And we don't have to get into politics.
Yeah, but it pushed everybody to one side.
It did.
What I'm saying is, there are so many people who are like, you're just looking for the same people who protested Black Lives Matter, or the same people who protested with Ukraine, or the same people who protested with the fucking Asian hate, and it's like they're just professional protesters, and you're not really doing anything.
Correct there. You're correct there.
And you're not really doing anything, and it just comes off so disingenuous, because you're just like you're a freedom fighter for nothing.
For nothing.
Yeah.
For nothing. And there's a lot of people out there like that. And I'm like, there's a sense of urgency to my life. I got up at 5:30, did I do my water, Himalayan salt, lemon, cold shower, coffee, the Laird Hamilton, I put ghee in it, turmeric, cinnamon, honey, Manuka honey, and little bit of cream as well. Journaling, how my day's going to look.
What are you journaling? What do you feel right
Fears,
now?
Fears, loves, ambition, drive,
but
motivation.
at almost 70 years old, you've seen a lot of the world. You've seen a lot of history. You've seen America change over the last couple decades. What do you think your purpose is now? You've done a lot. You fly planes for Sean Hannity, right?
Yeah.
And you do it for other people as well, right?
No, just Sean.
Just him?
Just Sean. I mean, I was at the airlines, I became a captain and I flew with Naval Academy grads, Air Force Academy grads. And I'm the guy with no college, blank diploma from high school. And they're like, how the fuck did you get here? One guy saw me in the hallway before I went into class, and I was wearing a rugby shirt because I did play rugby, and
fucking small for rugby.
Yeah, I was a hooker. What's that? Literally and figuratively. But it said Notre Dame. And this guy he's walking by and he's like, "Hey man, did you go to Notre Dame?" I said, "No." He's like, "Where'd you go to school?" And I said, "I didn't go to college." And he's just like, oh, kept on walking, but I went on to become a flight engineer there, then to the right seat. Then I became a captain there. And these guys are like, how the fuck did you get here? I'm like, hard fucking work. I showed up early and I stayed late.
Yeah.
And I studied my ass off. And so I'm like, fuck, if I can do this, I can do anything. And I was always kind of quasi into health and wellness, It kind of saved me, but also taught me how to be a bully,
See, I never gravitated towards the bullying side of things, but for me, it saved my life. It made me understand a whole lot more about life.
Yeah, for sure.
I was heavy as a kid and I didn't understand why. I had to search for that why. And then in my pursuit of trying to get myself better, now I go, all right, now I want to share this with everyone I can and get them better.
Why were you heavy as a kid? What was just
Italian Catholic from New Jersey? Like my grandmother rewarded us. I actually just had this kid on, such an impressive dude. His name's Dom Icavone. He owns Raw Nutrition.
Okay.
Huge in the fitness space. Great company. He grew up in Providence, Rhode Island, and he was a heavy kid too. And he went on, he was studying to be a doctor and then started this whole nutritional company. But very impressive guy. Now he like runs all the time. He's jacked. He looks fucking great. You know, he's partners with Chris Bumstead, who's like the biggest bodybuilder in the world right now. But he was saying the same thing. Like, we were rewarded as kids. Like, my grandmother, if I cleaned my plate, she'd give me more and be like, clean that plate too. And I would do it. And I got really heavy. And then I was like, whoa, this is what. Then I started reading muscle magazines and started getting into all this stuff. And I go, wait, I'm not supposed to be eating cake and coffee and doing all this shit and drinking soda. One of the first things I tell everybody is, when I was heavy, when I was like 13, 14 years old, I remember looking at, I forget what magazine it was like Muscular Development or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Ronnie Coleman or Flex Wheeler, one of these guys, crushing 2 bottles of soda, like with their hand, like popping the top off.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, it was this whole article about how there's no nutritional value to soda. You should never drink soda.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of people in the nutritional space and the fitness space now who are confusing people and being like, hey, well, like, if you're just drinking it for the calories, I don't think there's a purpose to soda. If you want to drink it, fuck, go ahead, do it. I mean, people do dumber shit than that. But when I gave up drinking soda as a kid, when I was younger, within 2 weeks, I dropped like 10 pounds.
Sure.
Like, I went from drinking soda all the time, you know, having it for lunch and dinner and all, to cutting it completely out of my diet and losing 10 pounds within a week. I was so fat, my legs used to rub together here, and I had like, basically like acne and, you know, shit all over, psoriasis and stuff. When I started to clean up my diet, and all that went away.
Change your mindset too, right? Like,
absolutely.
Hey, what's going on?
But now I'm like looking at myself differently. I remember like having these brown stains on the inside of my legs, and I'm like, within weeks it was gone. And I was like, holy shit, my skin cleared up. Everything felt better. I'm like, wait, if I could do that by just cutting out desserts and soda, what could I do if I clean up everything and start eating right?
Yeah.
And it changed. And now the way people treated me, like, everybody says like, oh, there's a fat phobia is definitely a thing. Like, everybody wants to be around somebody who's in shape and inspiring and looks a certain way. Like, even for myself, like, I mean, I try to look as good as I can. And even you, like, I want to be around older guys and older women who like are in shape, because it's just inspiring.
It's achievable.
Yeah.
But being in shape, you're a business owner. When you walk into a room,
people treat you differently.
People treat you differently.
Yeah.
You're going to make more money. You're going to grow your business. They're like, look at this. You know, look at that.
But it says a lot about somebody when they're in good shape.
It does, because you have grit, you have tenacity. This guy's putting in the work. And it's hard work.
Yeah. Yeah.
When 95% of the population is out there sitting on the couch and overeating and doing all those negative things, you're putting in the work. You're getting up early.
And there's no excuse anymore, because now we have all these drugs and stuff. We understand so much more about biology. You know, for years, I never understood certain aspects of like the craving side of it. And this is why I sympathize with a lot of people who are overweight.
Sure.
And I tell people, I go, listen, if Ozempic and GLP-1s is the only way that'll kickstart or catalyst your diet program or your healthy lifestyle, then use it. Don't use it as a crutch, but use it to kickstart your life so that you could end up where you need to be. Every one of these people who is like pro being fat, you know, the, what's her name? Lizzo and all these people, they're all taking Ozempic now. They're all trying to lose weight. They were all just too fucking lazy to actually put in the work. And now they're...
You know how I feel about that stuff.
What?
Right. The GLPs and, you know, give them an apple, give them some hard fucking work and let's go. People see the drug companies and the food companies, they know how to coerce us, right? They do.
Yeah. Of course.
And I think they're really taking advantage again, you know, of people that are severely overweight, and most people want the shortcut. They do. Shortcuts don't work. They don't. If you want to take care of this and look like this, put in the work, and it's achievable. It takes longer. It does take longer, but you're going to come out the other side better.
Well, one of the examples that I tell people all the time is when years ago, I was on television. And the same time I was on television, I actually had a full-time job in New Jersey working at a shipping company. I worked at Port Newark, like the Bon Jovi song. Like working on the docks.
Yeah.
So I was working on the docks, and the money I made from the docks, I treated differently than the money I made in television. Simply because the money I made from doing some of the stuff that I did in television, they would just give me money. Like I didn't have to work hard for it. But the stuff that I made on the docks, the money I made on the docks, I had to break my ass. Like I hated it. So to me, that was like blood money. And I was so frivolous in spending the money that I made on television because I didn't work for it. So when people work hard for something, they treat it differently than the stuff that they didn't. It's so true. So like when you actually achieve something on your own and you work hard for it, it just means so much more to people. And I think a lot of parents nowadays, and I think not so much I guess your generation, how old are your kids?
I have a son who's 31.
Okay. So yeah, your son's about that generation, the Gen Z generation.
Yeah.
And they were brought up with this ideal that like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, I'm probably not your kid, but I'm guessing most of his friends and people he grew up with, it was just like, oh, well, if you didn't win, well, you should get a participation trophy. I remember hearing that when I was a kid, and they're like, well, everybody should get a trophy. I'm like, I don't want one if I didn't earn it. Like, that's stupid, right? Like, you depreciate the value of somebody winning now if everybody gets the same trophy.
That's why we have a soft society. When my son was, he was kind of gifted, but he lacked motivation. He played varsity baseball, varsity football, and varsity basketball. And I'm like, you need to start mentoring. You mentor you see anybody getting bullied, you mentor them, You're looked up to as one of these top athletes at your high school. You need to do something, But I was actually mentoring his friends, that were, top level athletes in high school, and they're like, oh, Mr. Fabbs is jacked, and I went back to competing then. And so I actually have this photo of Jack LaLanne when he was like 23 and a picture of me when I was 52, and we put them side by side, and I'm like, I look better than Jack. And I love Jack LaLanne, He's got this great saying, the only thing good about a donut is the hole, So, but I mean, he started just with a chair and a dog and on TV and doing calisthenics, movement. And, that's, you going back to what's my purpose? My purpose is I want to change the health and wellness industry by helping people move better to live longer. And that's, and I realized that when I started climbing mountains, I thought it was like I'm all jacked up and that piece of cake and, it kicked my fucking ass.
Yeah.
Mountain climbing.
So, you have such a great story. Like you fly Sean Hannity around, right?
Yeah,
and I'm sure you've seen some pretty cool shit with him and heard some pretty wild stuff. And you
Trump on
mountains.
The phone and, I mean, just, but the biggest thing for me is it's cool doing that. And there is a coolness factor. It's hard. Flying jets is hard. You have to be like super disciplined.
And you got to be on.
You have to be on your game. Yeah. There's things going on in the industry where you heard of the Air India crash.
Yes. And wasn't there one guy who walked out? Did you hear about that?
He was sitting at one of the emergency exits.
Yeah.
Right there. And he got tossed out somehow. But, things happen. And pilots have to be focused, ready, on their game, knowledge, checklist, the whole show.
Yeah.
The whole show.
So I took one flying lesson because I would love to get my license. And I took
You can fly, you're sharp.
I'd love to. I just don't have the time right now to like
but
spend the hours. It's like 300 hours or something.
it depends on what you want to fly, a helicopter or a fixed wing. You know, fixed wing is less expensive.
Just one of those like small Cessnas or something.
Yeah.
But I went out to Long Island.
Oh, okay.
And the checkpoints and all the, preparation before.
Did you go on the North Shore flying around?
Yeah. And I was just like, holy shit. Like it's like it's second nature, I'm sure, to you and people who've done it for a long time, but.
Well, it is. It's, I like helicopters, Sikorsky's better than jets. Jets has a coolness factor, but.
Helicopter more fun to fly, right?
It's fun. I love flying in the city, landing at the heliports, and
Really?
I've flown all over the Northeast with the helicopter, but the jet I've flown all over the world. And you have to be super focused on what you're doing. You have to be passionate about it. It's hard work because it's constant, meaning constant studying, constantly. Like I have a trip tomorrow in Sean's jet. I'm doing a demo with my product to a company in Dubai at 6 a.m. And then 10 a.m., I'm taking Sean's jet out to Cincinnati. And I'm like, I'm good.
You're flying to Dubai.
No, I'm doing a demo. I'm doing a demo via Zoom with a company, Wellness First. They want to collaborate with my company.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing with that.
Oh, Total Motion 360?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the mountain climbing, and I felt inadequate in.
You think about how many people would love to look like you. People younger than your age and younger who'd love to look like you. And
but they
felt
can,
inadequate.
bro. Yeah.
I know. But like, that's my point. Like because I feel the same way. I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, you look like shit. You got to keep working harder. There are people who are sitting on a couch who haven't moved their whole fucking life. I tell this story sometimes. I had a guy come in a couple months ago. Sold his company, worked for a hedge fund, ton of money. And he's like, just give me the workouts and I'll do them myself. I go, buddy, you're 44 years old. You haven't worked out a fucking day in your life. You think me handing you a workout, you're going to do it? I go, why I'm here and why I make the money I do is because I keep people like you accountable. I go, so you need to come in here 1 day a week. That's all I'm asking you for is 1 day a week. Come in here and work with me. I go, and then from there, he goes, no, I want to do like 5-6 days a week. I go, here's what I'm telling you. You went from never doing anything to now tomorrow you think you're going to do everything. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work.
I get you have money and you think fucking it's just going to fall out of the sky, but this is something you actually have to fucking break your ass for and work.
Yeah.
Right?
Was he listening?
No. He never came back.
He never came back.
And that's why sometimes I charge a premium for the first session because I tell people, I go, we're going to evaluate where you are as because
100%.
Everybody thinks they want to work out till they get to the nitty gritty of what they actually have to do. And I try to make it fun for people. I'm like, hey, listen, just take it easy. Have you push the sled, do some fucking, let's teach you how to do push-ups, like things that you should be doing.
Yeah. But it's hard.
I know.
I know. No matter how you speak it, you have to push them, and they don't want to be pushed. They have the money, but they don't want to invest the money into themselves. It's an investment. If you want to, like, hey, bro, if you want to live to 64, 74, this is what you're going to do. If not, get the fuck out. Because it's hard work.
I tell people all the time, like I even have clients and stuff who are like, why doesn't this happen faster? I go, well, it can happen faster if you dial everything in. I go, let's just say on a scale of 1 to 100, that you giving 100 would be like you eating everything you should be eating, getting all the right sleep, working out, to a relative point of failure, and doing that pretty consistently for months on end.
Sure.
I go, you'll get there faster. I go, but here's the problem. At best, you're giving me 70% because you slack off, you grab some fucking peanuts and some
probably 40% in reality.
Yeah. And then you're not sleeping as well. And then you went out to dinner and you're like, well, I'll have a little bit of the dessert and blah, blah, blah. So now it's like that 100% that you thought you were doing is diminished down to at best 70.
Yeah.
So I go, let's just say you're getting 70% over the course of time. That's better than the 40% or 20% you're actually doing.
Sure.
So how many days could I rack up and get as close to 100% as I possibly can? And most people aren't doing that.
I'm not even doing that.
I'm
you
not
know,
either. I
and-
don't think I've ever given 100% to a day.
Yeah, but I take it in 1% or less than that increments,
Mhm.
like per week,
Yeah.
and I'm reaping the rewards because those little micro wins, I journal them in, and I'm like, oh, fuck, yesterday I do a lot of grip work, kettlebell work,
Mhm.
carrying loads, and my mind is like I'm climbing Everest. That's
Yeah.
where my mind is at. So I got to keep, when it starts getting painful, okay, this is good. This is good stuff. I'm doing a lot of back work, pull-ups, push-ups, all that stuff. Plus I use my product as well.
Which is the 360.
The Total Motion 360. It's so we didn't really talk about that, but I think people know the landmine,
Mhm.
right?
It's a very similar product to the landmine.
Similar.
Mhm.
I made it lighter. I patented
You have your own custom barbell.
custom. It's
Mhm.
custom. And that's why this company Wellness First is interested in it. And I'm franchising the business. I just got a new prototype.
Mhm.
But I have a purpose and a mission. Throughout the past 4 decades, right? I've really dialed in nutrition, movement, and I keep working towards that. And I'm like, wow, something's fucking going on here, because I get invites from people and they want to know and they want to hire me. And, those types of, when you start stepping into your purpose,
Mhm.
things start happening and you have to
Starts
keep,
to feel good.
it starts to feel good. But the journey's been long, but it actually started at the airlines. They're like, and pilots are the worst. Big egos,
Really?
Oh, fucking, I'm like, you know, I could tell you some stories, but they're like doctors. You've worked with doctors.
Yeah, these
Talk
guys.
about egos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're getting women throwing themselves at them, right? It's like, oh, he's a pilot.
Yeah.
It's one of those careers that
But not when you're a fat fuck now, bro.
Yeah.
You can't even get out of the cockpit
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
What the
yeah.
fuck, So back then, guys were coming up and they're like, hey man, what are you doing? I used to bring my meals with me, bring them with me on trips. And I was training hard, and I was trying to win this natural universe,
Mhm.
And so I was dialed in. I was dialed in on the flying, and I was just super focused on me and what I'm doing, right? And that's when things started to happen. I needed to write a book, and I didn't know how to write a book, but I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'll try it.
Yeah.
So a 6-month project took 2 years to put something together and all that.
Yeah.
And then I got
Your
invited.
third book, right?
I'm doing my third book now, from zero, where, I was the 3-dimensional loser.
Mm-hmm.
I was. And through high school, then late teens, early 20s, until I found aviation. And aviation was like, if I want to be a badass pilot kind of thing, because I just kind of gravitated towards that, then I got to stop doing all the bullshit.
Yeah. I think that's what most people miss in life is a purpose, right? For me,
Sure.
my purpose was, I truly believe that there was a point in my life that was very low.
What was that? What point was that?
Around 2011, 2012, I had gotten canceled over some shit that never happened. I didn't understand why this was happening to me. It was a very low point in my life. At the same time, I had torn my pec, so I couldn't work out. Or at least I couldn't do upper body and stuff. I had broken up with my girlfriend at the time. I moved out of the apartment we had. It was just like everything felt like it was imploding. I was going through, around the same time, I was going through a lawsuit with my old gym, with my partners and stuff. So it was just like, problem after problem after problem. It's like, I tell this story a lot. I opened up the cabinet in my apartment, the bathroom cabinet, and I had a bunch of like medications and stuff in there. I lived with another guy at the time who had a bunch of shit in there too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if I just take all this shit, I'll just fucking pass out. Or I could go outside and go for a run. And I chose the run.
You chose. Why did you choose? Why? What?
Because fitness has always saved me.
Yeah.
Fitness has always made me feel better. And I said, what could I do to make myself feel better right now? Like, not for the rest of my life, but what could I improve right now? And that's what I did. I went outside and my arm was in a sling. And I was just like, let me just try to walk as fast as I could.
Yeah.
You know, and I went out there. And when I got back home 2 hours later, because I went for like a 2-hour walk, and that's what I love about New York, I came back in and I sat on my bed and I just started to write down ideas and things I wanted to do. And part of the mission of like Strong New York, and this was like through the shit I've been through, the shit I've seen other people deal with. You know, I lost my cousin a little earlier than that, and I didn't quite understand why that happened. He was a younger guy. He was only like 33, but he was like a brother. We were very close. So all this shit kind of happened all at once. My grandmother had passed away. And I'm like, fuck, man, this is crazy. I don't know why I'm dealing with all this right now, you know?
There was a reason for that.
And I said, if I could focus on myself and improve my situation right now, then maybe I could eventually help other people do that. And that's part of the idea behind the whole Strong New York thing.
Sure.
Strength is something everyone needs. New York is like this kind of cool, like you put New York on anything and it just makes everything a little bit cooler. But I was here and I was like, if I can make strength important to everyone here, if I could get people to focus on themselves, then this could become viral and everyone will get into it. So now looking at the world as it is today, everybody thinks strength is cool. Like strength is a hot word. It's like biohacking and shit.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
So everybody's like, oh, I'm strength training. Everything's strength. Pilates is strength. I'm running strength. So I was like, fine, I don't care what you fucking think strength is. Strength to me is improvement. Strength is like when you're down and out and you have nothing, how good are you at your worst, right? How strong could you be at your worst? So the whole idea behind Strong New York was like this idea that if I could get other people to do whatever type of workout they want to do, but communicate with other people and build this idea of like improving themselves, then that would be my purpose in life. And I think a lot of people don't ever get the opportunity to figure out what their purpose is.
Well, there are opportunities out there, and you have a great story. Mm-hmm. And your story will influence others that they may think that they don't have a purpose. Mm-hmm. But you're born with something, right? Mm-hmm. But society, what I've learned, it's the beatdown. You know, I was medicated as a child because I was a happy kid, little kid, you know, I was happy. And I had these dreams of Jacques Cousteau and, you know, this great adventurer. And I wanted to be my own type of modern day adventurer. I did, you know, but school, family, society, you know, getting bullied, you get the beat down. So you're like, nobody gives a fuck about me, you know, and I didn't think I'd make it past 21.
Yeah. No, you know, during all the Black Lives Matter stuff, and I have this conversation with one of my clients who I absolutely love. She's, you know, probably my best friend because I see her every day. We bullshit all the time. She's black chick. We're the same age, you know, she's great. But one of the things I said, I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. So when people are like, oh, this white privilege, they're like, oh, and I go, you know, I wish I got to experience some of that. I go, I'm fucking white trash from Newark, New Jersey. I go, you don't realize, I got bullied and picked on for being fat and nobody gets picked on more than anything. If you're fat, women don't want to have anything to do with you.
Exactly.
Unless you have a ton of money.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that, you know, and so I was like fat, awkward, you know, I was into comic books. Like I was the quintessential loser. And just like you said, from zero to hero, like I knew that about myself though. I looked in the mirror and I was like, I don't know what else I could be wrong. That could be wrong.
But see, I think you had some sort of epiphany where I'm better than this. I'm going to go for a run. And that maybe was the catalyst that, you know what? But then you put pen to paper, mm-hmm. right? If you're journaling about gratitude and, hey, I have these ideas and putting pen to paper, That's what starts it. Then you're like, oh, you know what? Okay, I'm going to take another step and then another step and keep going. And here you are.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a hard thing to do.
And I'm not jealous. I used to be, but I'm not jealous of people who've had it better, who've had, everything I've ever wanted to do, my father shit on. When I wanted to wrestle, he goes, what do you want to wrestle for? It's a fucking loser sport. And then I was like, I want to go to the gym. And he's like, why are you going to the gym? It's losers go to the gym.
What?
Yeah. He's like, gay guys go to the gym. You don't go. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, Arnold goes to the gym. What the hell? Like, my father shit on everything. When I opened my gym, my father shit on that. When I was on TV, my dad shit on, nothing was ever. But I always.
Was he jealous?
I don't know.
Because you were starting to do things differently?
Yeah. I think that's what it was. I think he just didn't understand. Like, if he had it his way, I would have been a cop in New Jersey. That's what he would have loved for me to do. Just listen to what he said and become a cop in New Jersey. And I always did the exact opposite. I always did something different. And he hated that. Like, he didn't have, my dad loved having control. He was in the Marines. He went to Vietnam. All that
really?
Shit.
Yeah.
And he wanted to have control. He wanted us to be fucking soldiers, and that's it. And I didn't want to do that. I was, I guess, as rebellious as I could be within the confines of my family. And I kind of always danced to the beat of my own drummer and wanted to do my own thing. And
I think that's an unusual, based on my experience. People follow others, and that's a big problem. And it's hard to go and cut your own path. It is.
But that was my point, that like, I had no guidance and no support. Like, my mom would always, and God bless her, I mean, she didn't know any better. She'd always be like, whatever you want to do, just go do it. But like, I didn't have anybody. When I opened my first business, dude, I didn't have, what I am jealous of are people who I meet who are like, oh, my mentor helped me with this. I had this person who was guiding me, or I had a parent that really gave a shit.
You didn't have that.
I don't really have it. Like, looking back, I had a lot of people help me and friends who helped me. And my older brother was very supportive of everything I did. But like, no one could answer the questions I had when it came to like the finances of running a business and the legal side of running the business. And so I fucked up a lot. My first 2 gyms, I fucked up. But even exercising and working out, I kind of just like pulled it out of magazines and just took a shot. And I always just kind of did. If somebody was like, hey, you could do anything. But I was always told you can't do anything. And we had no money to do anything. Yeah. All my friends in high school, like when they wrestled, like there was like not as many as there are now, but there were wrestling schools you could go to. Like my little brother ended up going, he's 2 years younger. He got to go to like this other wrestling school where he got, you go to see a private coach and you get better at something.
You get better.
I never had that.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, that would have been great because I could have been better than I was, So little opportunities throughout the years, I'm like, man, I wonder what I could have been if I had one person be like, do it this way or help. So I always had to figure it out on my own. So now.
And that's okay.
Yeah. It's just taken me longer to do it than other people.
But you're only 40 years old, bro.
42. But yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I hear you though.
Yeah. And sometimes I get on myself because I'm like, fuck, why haven't I figured it out? Like I was sitting with this kid who was here, he's 32, 33 years old. He made his first million when he was 27. And I'm like, fuck, how? What did you do? What do you understand that I didn't understand?
Was that kid?
The guy who was telling you who has a nutrition company. So by 27, he's a millionaire. And I'm like, fuck. That's great. That's pretty cool. Like here I am at 42, still trying to figure it out.
Hey, I'm still trying, I'm still trying to figure it out, but that's the thing where longevity gives you more time.
Yeah.
Got
a little bit more runway, but there's a sense of urgency.
Oh, there should be anyways.
Yeah.
There should be anyways. You're doing you. And keep doing you, and you just got to shut out the noise, put the blinders on, and say, you know what, go fuck yourself. This is what I'm doing, and you grind.
Yeah,
you grind every day. It will, whatever you're seeking, will come.
Yeah, you just can't give up.
If you give up, you're done.
Yeah,
right. You're done.
Yeah,
right. And we hit rock bottom 2 years ago with cancer, my wife, and the business, started floundering. We had to divert all the money towards oncology and treatment and all this stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck, I did the pity party, poor me, and then I just snapped out of it, and I'm like, fuck it, let's go. Let's start training harder. Let's start, all these things. And we had a miracle show up like 2 months ago where Rhonda went from her own zero. She was below 80 pounds and practically dying in my arms.
Mm-hmm.
And to where she went to see her oncologist, and her latest PET scan was not you're in remission, but no evidence of cancer. No evidence. It was in her lungs, it was in her C2 and C3 in her skull, throughout her bones and everything. And I'm like, what the fuck? But she started following more like what I do, juicing.
See, people get so freaked out when you start telling them there's natural pathways of kind of clearing some of this. You can't say 100%, obviously, but there are
right.
ways.
No, I get you. But you have to do you.
Yeah.
I do Tom Fabbri.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what other people think. I don't care what the doctors think. I have a knowing based on decades of research on me,
Mm-hmm.
trying this, trying that. I told you in my early 2021, I was doing some steroids for about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Dianabol and testosterone, and I got some heat from my family. And I'm like, okay, that embarrassment.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? And I thought that was the path to get stronger and bigger and compete and all that. And I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I learned over time, I don't even need supplementation, except something that we were talking about earlier, lion's mane and turmeric and, Manuka honey, the best honey that I can get.
We'll go back to your wife. She, there's no trace of cancer. Like, what do you attribute that to?
Mindset. I think mostly mindset.
Yeah.
Being grateful. My feeling is that the body has the ability to heal itself.
I 1,000% agree.
And if you have this mindset of, oh, I'm sick, I don't feel good, I'm going to, all these negative thoughts, right? Say if you're fearful of something, most people are fearful of getting up on stage, right? Most people.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens? They get butterflies in their stomach, and they'll break out in hives. Oh, you're gonna make yourself sick.
Yeah.
Or I make myself healthy every day. I'm strong, healthy, I'm young. I've been saying that for decades.
Yeah.
And it's kind of because people were looking at me like, they'd ask that question, how old are you? And I was just like, I'm not old. Society will tell you if you hit a certain milestone. Oh, you're moving to Florida. You're gonna retire. You're gonna do this.
You're setting yourself up for death. I really truly feel like that.
Yes.
Like, people always tell me, they're like, "Oh, are you gonna move out of the city?" I go, "For what? What the fuck am I moving?" Well, it's kind of hard to live in the city as you get older. I'm like, for you, not for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think what's harder is going out to the suburbs and being by yourself and being lonely. At least here in the city, there are other people my age who are still trying to live life and enjoy life.
Sure.
I'm not saying people in the suburbs don't enjoy their life, but there's a lot more opportunity to kind of live a more fruitful life. I think in the city, there's just more going on. And people gravitate towards a city because they want that excitement. They want that environment where people are.
I think you're correct. If you travel throughout the world and you say, I'm from New York, they immediately think that New York City is the Mecca of the world. It still is.
I mean, that's why I put my event here, because I go, at one point or another, I don't care if you live in Cambodia or Bangladesh or wherever you are in the world. If you ask anyone, would you want to go to New York one day? They'll be like, yeah, great.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to. That'd be amazing. I want to see New York.
Yeah.
Right? if you said, hey, do you want to go to Cincinnati, Ohio? They'd be like, for what? What the
I
fuck
know.
would I go there
To
for?
see the Reds?
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm here there, but it's any city. Like I was just in London over the
I
weekend.
love London.
I love London. And Saturday night, I was like itching. We just got done with the event and it was like 9:00. And I go, I'm going to go to central London. I'm going to go check this out. I had a great night. I went by myself. I went to go have a steak. I went to the Bulgari Hotel.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Went to have dinner there, had a great steak, then went upstairs, had a cigar. It was awesome. It was 1:00 in the morning. Place was jumping. I would have sat in my hotel kicking myself in the ass that I didn't come.
Sure.
I encourage everybody to, if you're sitting around and you're like in this depressed state and you're kind of miserable, get up off your ass, go to the gym, go out, go be around other people. Even if you're alone, go do something. Live your life a little bit.
But see, people are afraid of people.
I know.
There's that fear of, oh, they're looking at me, I'm out of shape, or whatever the fear is, people imagine it and it's in their own heads, and you just have to shut out all of that, and I do. I don't, I don't care what people think of me, and people are going to think of me anyways.
Yeah.
Or not, or think I'm an asshole, or, well, that guy's fucked up, or whatever.
What I tell people is that most of my clients too, I go, it's all about preparation too.
Yeah.
One of the things that I learned from over the course of the last couple of years having the events, we've always had somebody speak on motivation, especially like Navy SEALs and stuff. I'm fascinated by those guys, right?
Yeah.
And any type of military personnel, because there's such preparation that goes into any execution of a mission of any sort. And you run through these drills and you're like, all right, if this goes wrong, if that goes wrong, what did we do wrong? Not, oh, we fucked up. It's like, what did we do wrong that we could correct or prepare for? So when I go and I'm presenting my business to somebody, or I'm trying to sell somebody on, or building out the gym, I try to prepare as much as I possibly can so that I don't have this sense of like, poor me, or I didn't do enough.
Right.
I try to do as much as I could.
Do the work.
Yes, do the work. So now when you walk in the room and you look a certain way, people are going to treat you a certain way.
Exactly.
So you prepare for what you want.
Exactly.
You can't
100%.
blame the fucking rest of the world for being like, oh, they called me fat. They made me feel like this. They made me feel like that. No, you made yourself feel like that. And I say that all the time.
That's a true statement.
Because if somebody says something, I'm like, I didn't do that right. Or I could have done that differently.
Yeah.
I always, that idea of extreme ownership, Jocko Willink.
Jocko Willink. Oh, yeah.
And I love that idea that like, it's not everybody else's fault. It's your own. So I try to assume all responsibility for anything that goes wrong with them. Like, for instance, a guy saying, like, I could either get offended and be like, oh my God, he doesn't like my brand. Or I could be like, I love what I do. I spend countless hours redoing this same fucking logo 101 times. There were 55 different renditions of the same thing. I love it. So he could go suck my ass. I don't give a shit if he likes it. I like it. But if I wasn't confident, if I didn't spend the time and the money and the effort on doing exactly what I wanted, then I'm like, oh, poor me. He doesn't like what I did. I don't give a fuck. I did everything I could up to that point, and if I failed, that's fine. I look at jujitsu the same way.
Yeah.
Like, I train as much as I possibly can, and if I get out there and somebody kicks my ass, I'm like, I'm going to go back to the fucking lab, figure out what I did wrong,
Exactly.
and try it again. Not, oh, poor me, I lost. Oh, he's better than me. No, I'm like, no, fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to just train more.
So with that, with your logo, it's, you created it for you.
Yeah.
You have a purpose. So you're going to put in 100% of your effort and your heart and soul into that. It's not about consumerism. It's not about the sale. So that's why New York Strong and your gyms and, because you're 100% in.
Mm-hmm.
You're all in.
Yeah.
You're not working to please other people. You want to please yourself first.
Yeah.
That's,
and then you
that's
find
true.
your tribe through doing what you love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You find the people who are into your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because then when you're when you're not authentic to yourself and you're not
well, you're lying.
Yeah.
You're lying to you and the public.
Yeah.
And people see that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's so important. I talk about that so much. You know, I hired a marketing company and they're like, well, maybe we could make the brand a little bit more user friendly. And I'm like, yeah, but then I don't want to wear this shit.
I know.
I mean, if somebody could help me try to find a good balance between what I love, but I just said 3 weeks ago, I went to a Metallica concert. There were 85,000 people in Philadelphia at this football stadium listening to this band that's older than me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know? And I go, what I thought was cool in high school, I think is cool now.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
That same music, that the skulls and the bullshit. And like,
Oh, yeah.
I love all that shit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's still cool.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing
I do.
the 85,000 people that were in that stadium thought it was cool too.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
100%.
So I like that genre. I like that stuff. And I always just lean towards that. That just, to me, it just feels very me.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
You know, like personally for me, Van Halen was,
Oh.
you know,
Love.
you know,
What's your favorite album? Do you have a favorite album or you have like a song?
I'm a big Eddie Van Halen, but David Lee was fucking badass, you know.
I liked every version of Van Halen there was. I loved Sammy Hagar. Love Sammy.
Yeah, Dreams is, you know,
great.
the video with the Blue Angels and all that. That music, you know, Eruption and all that stuff is like, fuck, that's so badass.
When I was in high school, we were burning CDs, me and this buddy. And on every CD that I burned, I was like, dude, I got to have some Van Halen on it. I love Van Halen.
Yeah,
Like,
remember the first time you heard it? I'm like, what is that?
I remember being in, Dreams I heard early on because, I guess I was like, that came out in what, 92, 93? I had the live album. It was like the 93 live album or something.
Okay.
Was it with Sammy Hagar?
Sammy Hagar.
And it was the picture of like the front yard and the statue of Jesus on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I played that fucking.
Did you really?
I couldn't wait to get my license because I'm like, I want to drive around and blast Van. Like that's one of those bands where I was just I would say Van Halen, Bon Jovi, Guns N' Roses. Like when I was in high school, that shit's the best.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. There's something to music where you get this feeling, especially when you're working out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I'm doing my thing, I'm either listening to a book, you know, like maybe a Jocko book or, you know, a lot of different books, or I'll put on a play set and I just go to town. You know, and I'm grinding and I'm going through the pain and the music though. It's a little bit of a distraction, but it keeps me focused. Keeps me focused.
There's nothing I like more than teaching a class or being in a class. And especially in the city, it's very hard to find a class where people aren't playing top 40 bullshit. And if I walk in somewhere and they play any type of 70s, 80s metal music, I'm like, I found my home.
There you go. Right?
I love that shit.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, where we're at today is Nathan Hyland is my business consultant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a young guy. He's a few years younger than you, I think.
I was going to say, I think he's like 37, 38.
Yeah, he just had a baby.
Okay.
You know, and he named his baby Cairo. I'm like, Cairo, that's, you know, my parents named me Tom, my brother Mike, and Billy. You know, I'm like, I want a cool name like that, you know? But he's like, yeah, I've been over to Egypt quite a bit and all this stuff, you know? And we're running on time here, bro.
Yeah, I think we're wrapping up, right? Okay.
He can say that.
Yeah. No, but go ahead. I want you to finish.
And, you know, he was telling me about his wife, Mary Chris, that, you know, they just had the baby, but the baby is going to be used on the Huggies.
Oh shit! Already?
Yeah, already. I'm
that.
like, bro, I can do the Depends. You know, we could put me on the, you know, put me as the poster child.
Nathan's such he's one. Of those guys.
He's good.
He's a solid guy.
He's solid. He knows the business very well. And I'm like Richard Branson. I don't know the difference between net and gross. So I'm going to delegate.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why,
yeah.
I'm going to delegate.
Yeah. I think it's so important to know your strengths and like, I mean, Christy's with me everywhere all the time because I'm at a point where I can't tie my shoes without her. I mean, she's so organized. I was actually with my buddy Tyler last night, and he has a young lady that works for him, and she texted me this morning. She's like, "Hey, we're going to do this, like setting up other meetings and stuff." But I think behind every great man is an even better woman. And
Exactly.
Mary Chris, I met through working with Michelob, and she's the one who introduced me to Nathan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how I met him. And
she's on the Chris Helmsworth app or something?
the center work stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so he works for them. But she's great. I mean, she's again another like rock star in my opinion in the industry and stuff.
Yeah.
He's great, and he's even better with her. So
yeah, they're a great team. So they're getting me to where I need to be because of Nathan. We're expanding. I'm very confident, and he's confident about this company in Dubai, Wellness First. They want exclusivity on distribution and sales, and we're franchising. And so,
well, hopefully we could do something at the event. I mean, listen, I tell everybody I created this thing to help people, the people who need your product, and you need that clientele. And it's just a way to aggregate and network and kind of create this incubator of, people in the health and wellness industry who are, if you're looking to improve, I mean, this is the place, especially here in New York.
And that's in September?
September 27th.
Because I think we're going to Dubai in October.
Well, the muscle show? No, that's November.
The FIBO show?
Oh, FIBO show. No, that's
October?
No, FIBO happened already. Oh,
but
there's one in Dubai?
I think they're doing one in Dubai.
Oh, wow. Okay. I might have to go to that too. I look for excuses to go to Dubai. I love that place. Well, listen, I think that's all the time we have, right? My good man. Did we go over?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, shit. You sure? Okay. All right. They're getting tight around here.
Yeah.
Guys, as always, thank you so much for joining us, Tom. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You
Pleasure.
have an incredible story. I could sit and chat with you.
I know for quite a while.
Yeah. We should go drink some mushrooms and listen to Helen.
I'm all for that. Yeah.
Guys, thank you as always. Like, share, subscribe. Hope this was as fun for you as it was for us. Again, don't forget to get your tickets to Strong New York this year. As always, we are powered by Celsius. I crushed 2 while we were sitting here. And again, as always, right? Strength is what you are at your weakest. So get strong, have great people around you, do what you need to do to get strong, prepare yourself, and we're out. Thank you all.
Thanks, bro. Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Great team we got here. Appreciate all of you.
Thank you.